40,000 items. Let's go. Hello again. So, apparently, y'all liked my last video, which kind of surprised me because, frankly, I didn't expect my first video would get several thousand views in the first 24 hours, so that's cool. Well, a lot of you asked me to operate the farm, harvest it, send it into the sorter and the silos, which I meant to do it actually in my last video. I just forgot to do it before I ended the video, but that's okay. I didn't need it to get too long. I'll spend more time going over how this all works here. And of course, the first thing I did when I saw that the video was well liked was what everybody does when they have a successful video on YouTube. I robbed my children. First off, I went and found a condenser mic in my son's bedroom because I don't have one. I was using a laptop. And then I got a nice pair of MSI headphones for my kid as well. I mean, while he was at school, he doesn't know I have them. And so hopefully I don't sound like I'm talking through my nose this time. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about my computer. I'm still using my laptop. It's just a budget tier gaming laptop. But it does okay. But it's unfortunately also doing double duty as the recording device. I'm just using Shadowplay to record this, and so my frame rates might drop a little bit, especially when I harvest this. When I do that, it can it can bring a pretty powerful computer to its knees. So, just fair warning. So what's going to happen is obviously I'll pull the levers. This is all going to go into the trough. And there's obviously a conveyor belt underground made from hoppers, and it comes into this. This is the elevator, just like a real farm. I hear a monster. I see nothing. All right. Okay, hang on a second. Where'd you come from? The heck? Okay. So this is an elevator. So how it works is hopper line comes in from underneath the farm. They just condense into one line, comes through, all the hoppers feed into each other, and that brings you to the bottom of this. These are droppers. Each dropper is pointing straight up. They go as high as you need it to. Then you have every other block, just like so with redstone, not redstone, but redstone torches, excuse me, on every side facing the droppers and on the back side of the inner blocks. A comparator senses that an item came into the bottom dropper, triggers this, which causes this dirt to toggle. It doesn't have to be dirt. This could be any item. It doesn't matter. It just toggles it back and forth. What that does is it sends a pulse to this comparator, which applies energy to this, and it triggers a signal that runs all the way up. What that does is cause each hopper to fire in turn. And since the droppers are facing up, it sends the items up. This is, as far as I know, other than using a water elevator, the only way to send items up. You can send items down or straight across using these hoppers, but elevators are the best way to get items up. All the items will come up all the way to the top. You have to send them up higher than any other point in your system, and then they'll use the hoppers to come down. So it goes all the way to that point right there, and it's pulled out. That hopper will pull the items out as they go one at a time, pull them out into that conveyor line. From there, this is just an ordinary. There's been an Enderman up here. It sends it into what is an ordinary sorter. Now this sorter does not have overflow protection. It only has 2 instead of 3 pieces of redstone dust, which means they can't overflow. However, they shouldn't, because those silos have huge capacity, but it technically could overflow. Right now I'm sorting beetroot seeds, beetroot. You get the idea. I don't sort the potatoes. You don't actually have to sort the final item. So I've sorted carrots, but not anything in this sixth hopper. That way, everything that's not one of the previously sorted items will simply drop down and headed to the final silo. I make potatoes that item. That way, poisonous potatoes will all go with the regular potatoes. So will anything else that doesn't belong. If a creature dies or I like fall into the trench and die myself, all my stuff or anything else that gets sucked into this hopper line will just end up in that potato silo. But that's okay. It's the easiest way to deal with limited space. And then I could slide this over 2 spaces, like I said, if I want to add 2 more sorters and have 8 silos. From there, it's just a tangle of routing the hopper lines and making sure you route them where you need to go. 2 out this side, 2 out that side, 2 out that side. That's it. At that point, the items will head into their respective silos, or at least they should. It's dark outside. Let me sleep real quick. All right. What the hell? Not a chance. Get off. Okay. From there, 2 hopper lines come out. They split, 1 to each silo. The silos are pretty straightforward. Hopper line comes right in the very top, chests all the way down. I could send a second hopper line off the bottom of that one and send chests all the way down this way, and a third hopper line and chests all the way down this way. What would happen is when the items fill up this one, then they would start piling up in this hopper and would get pulled out of that hopper by the hopper below it. Since it's not pointed down but pointed sideways, it wouldn't naturally go into the lower hopper. It would continue straight and then down into this line. And if there was an additional hopper below this one pointed this way, once this was completely full, which is over 60,000 items, they would start back filling into this hopper. At that point, the items would remain in this hopper instead of simply pass through it quickly, and the hopper below it would then begin pulling them out and send them down this row of chests if they were here. And then likewise, if there was a third hopper, then they would come and then fill the chest down this well. So that would be how you would utilize more space. Or I could do another row of chests right in front of these. Well, however you wanted to do it. You could massively increase the capacity of these silos. That's it. They're not complicated. So without any further ado, I'll come up here and pull this lever and send all of the items into the silos. I should say that this lever, a lot of people think this lever is the harvest lever. It's not, it's a lag lever. And since I'm playing this and filming this on a potato, as soon as I pull that, it's going to turn into a baked potato. And if you recreate this farm yourself and have somehow an even worse computer than mine, that is going to die. Really, the harvest and all the items for, this is half the farm, so up to 20,000 items. It's not too hard. Even this computer doesn't have that powerful of a graphics card. It's just a laptop with a mobile card, but it can handle that okay. Oddly enough, what really lags me is once the items are in the hopper line and they're going up the elevator and through the sorter, the computer has to keep track of all of those individual entities and where they're at in the hopper line, where they're at in the elevator, where they're at in the sorter, where they're at in the silos. That is what actually lags me the most. Right now, I don't get that great of frames per second, and I'm losing about 20 of them because I'm also running the capture at the same time through software. I'm so poor. I'm a peasant. I don't even have a capture card. In fact, the reason I have to steal things from my children is because they're kids, and every dime they have gets sunk into their computers. And every dime I have goes to things like not dying, like buying food. So I don't have a nice computer. But anyway, yeah, so I'll be under lag for like 4 hours because it takes hours for all the stuff to work their way through the system. At which point I'll lose another 20 frames a second. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna do the other side. Okay. Slight change of plan here. Not change of full plan, but what I did is I adjusted each of the silos so that they had this. So right here, all right, beets. There's nothing in that chest, I think, and potatoes right there. So that hopper is full, and the chest above it is empty. So, okay, wait a minute. I need something to mark it. There we go. All right. All right. Let's do this. Okay. This way, you can actually see. Yep. Okay. There we go. That chest, nothing in it. And I'll mark the beetroots as well. There we go. And there's beet there. So there we go. Now we have it marked with pumpkins. Exactly how much crop we will get, and I will get beetroot seeds, and oh, well, that works out well. All right, so I'm gonna be a stack shy of filling that. Okay, good enough. All right, so here we go. All right, this time I mean it for real this time. I'm actually gonna pull the lever. And they're already absorbed. It happens that quick. When it used to be water, it'd take several minutes and I'd lose almost all of them. Now, there's a little bit of loss. You can see there's a carrot there. Maybe there's 2 over there. It's very few, I think. How many did I lose on this edge? I lost 8. That's not too bad. I could make these taller and I wouldn't lose any, but then when I was down in the farm, I wouldn't be able to hop out because you can't hop 2. And every time I hopped off the ledge to plant, I would bust the field. So better to just leave it the way it is, and the little bit of loss doesn't hurt. There we go. Just like that. It's a thing of beauty. Okay, that's enough. I left the other one on because what's going on down here? Oh, yeah. It'll drop in a second. Because what happens is a lot of the product gets thrown to the other side. And by running water on both sides, it ensures that the product, all the fruits and vegetables that get thrown across from the flow of the water get sent in. It looks like that hopper got full, so that one, it will absorb it in a second once the line starts moving. But other than that, yeah. So very little loss. Actually, so now you can see it in action. You can actually see the elevator running. That's how fast it goes. This is the limiting factor on how fast everything gets sorted. This redstone elevator is slower than the speed at which items move from hopper to hopper. So the speed at which the droppers can send items up on this every other pulse That is what limits. That's what takes the 4 hours to get everything up into the sorter. That's the limiting factor. By now, everything's already in the hoppers and piled up here at the end. So I come down. You see there's carrots going through it already, and there's more carrots. So and carrots here. So let me break this open. Okay, so what's here? Carrots and beetroot seeds. So the hoppers are full. That's, like I said in the other video, this is why I can't really make the farm any bigger, because there's just no more room in the hoppers down here. If they, like in this instance, I'll grab those and I'll throw in this hopper. There you go. You can see there's a little bit, there's some free space, but not enough. If I made the farm any bigger, the stuff just wouldn't get absorbed into these hoppers. This is it. So now what we'll do, well, what I'll do is AFK or mess around with my farm for about 3 or 4 hours, and this will be done, and all the stuff will be up the elevator and into the silos. So I'll see you guys in about 3 hours. Okay, it just finished. There's no more items left in the hoppers or the droppers. So let's go check our silos to see how much yield we got off this harvest. We'll start with the carrots over here. We had no carrots in this chest or this one. Looks like 2 chests and 2 hoppers, so it's 3,500 a chest plus the 2 hoppers puts us at about 7,200. And for potatoes, it's going to be very close to that. They're usually pretty consistent. Same thing. Looks like 1 chest, 2 chests. Now look at that. It's almost exactly the same. About another 7,200 potatoes, including the poison potatoes. Let's head over to the beetroot chest. Half the farm was planted with beetroots. The farm's just over 8,000 squares. So we should have about 4,000 beetroots because you get 1 per square. And it looks like we got a chest and a hopper. And yep, that's almost exactly 4,000 right there. Now the question is, how many beetroot seeds will we have? We can have up to 4 per square. And when we started, we were missing one of these. That's 1 chest, 2 chests, almost 3 chests and 2 hoppers. So that'll be just over 11,000. So it looks like we're at about 31,000 for this harvest. Not bad, not bad at all. $7,642, 7,643, 7,644.